Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of an opinion piece on Elizabeth Warren's Monopoly proposal. Of course, this was released March 8th, which is just yesterday for when I'm recording the video. Not sure when the final edited version of this is going to go out, but this was recorded March 8th, 2019. And she released this as a blog post on Medium. So this is by Elizabeth Warren from Team Warren, which is her campaign thing. Now, let's go ahead and start out on the front end. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I think both parties should be abolished entirely. I look at ideas. I look at thoughts and opinions. I voted for Trump. Because I think Clinton was the Antichrist. I'm not a Trump shill. I think he's done some good things in office. I think he's done some bad things in office. He definitely helped me save a lot of money on taxes this year as a middle-class American, and that's a good thing, and that's actually the ultimate reason why I voted for him. I liked his idea in that one area. Now, Trump, unfortunately, is completely incompetent when it comes to technology, which is a bad trait of a current business. And what interested me about Elizabeth Warren's plan here is that it's not just about simply punishing the big, bad, rich people. It's literally about real ideas. And there's some of the ideas in this proposal that I really like, and some of the ideas in the proposal that are really bad, in my opinion. And so I want to take some time and look at this post on Medium. And if you want to follow along, there will be a link in the description down below. So basically, what we're getting at is, in our modern world, this change and this shift. How has Amazon shifted the way we buy things? It's not just Amazon. Sometimes it's Amazon. Sometimes it's Walmart. You know, these big companies move into town and they outcompete all of the other existing stores. And then everyone else closes down, or you can't get what you're looking for. So I'm a regular user of Amazon, and I think that Amazon has done some decent things. And in full disclosure, I do have an Amazon Associates account. If you also buy on Amazon, you want to support the channel, have a look at the link in the description down below, and that actually helps, is a great way to support the channel. But there's some bad parts about Amazon, and that's that I would like to at times support the local businesses, but I oftentimes can't. We get down to matters of availability of products. So I bought a good old professional camera. I don't use it as much for this channel because I do so much screen capping. A webcam is more useful on this channel. It's easier to set up and things. But for my other channels, I actually use a good full-on professional camera. And when I bought the camera, guess what I couldn't find anywhere in town? A microphone. Now, we got 2 music stores in town. We have a Best Buy. We have a few other places. We have a camera shop. Nobody has microphones to attach to a camera. Of course, everyone's like, oh, we can order it for you. Like, dude, I can order it for me. I've already done the lead work. I know I can order it from Amazon. It's going to cost me X amount of money. And extra bonus, I don't have to ship it to my house. Amazon does not know where I live. There is a pickup location. Now, I also have a post office box, which helps as well to mask my address. Amazon doesn't know where I live. There is a pickup location in town, and everything that can go to a pickup location gets sent to a pickup location. If it doesn't, if I can't send it to a pickup location, I send it to the post office box instead. If something requires it here, I just reevaluate, do I actually need it? And that is one of those points. Now, what has happened, unfortunately, is that Amazon is so out there, and then people are like, oh, well, we can order online too. The fact is, I don't want my information cast upon all of these different businesses because privacy and security is a thing. I'd rather trust that information to Amazon because they have the infrastructure to keep it a little bit safer, in my opinion, than your local camera shop or whatever else. On top of that, I don't want to have to place the order and then go back into town again, which, you know, I was at Best Buy yesterday because I was looking at either buying a new computer and I said, if not that, then I want to buy a new hard drive and retool one of the systems that I have. Well, guess what? They don't have in stock any of the hard drives I want. Oh, I can order it. We can order it. Oh, we can price match Amazon. It's like, no, I'm not coming back into town and I'm not giving Best Buy my address. You can forget that idea right here and right now. I can buy online from that location. So that is unfortunately one of the consequences. How did we get to that point? Well, we got to the point where it is unfortunately expensive to stock inventory. Amazon has gotten so big and has become a central place where people buy things that stores don't stock inventory much anymore. And while I would like to support my local small businesses, I'm not paying 30% more and waiting a week for a product when Amazon can ship it to the pickup location that's very close to me. I mean, in less time, and then in less price, and then I don't have to deal with your rude guy on the phone, you know? And I say that as a case because I was fixing a computer. I lived back west at this time. We had an actual computer store in town. I call them up like, hey, I need a computer screen for this computer. Well, we don't stock that kind of stuff. All right, can you tell me how much it is? Well, the guy that orders parts isn't in. Well, can you look up the screen? Well, I don't really know what I'm doing. Well, bye. I would love to support my local business, but I really can't. Now, Amazon, though, on the other side, it has provided us the ability to buy things that we would never have exposure to before. And so there is benefit and there is downsides. So that's kind of a little bit of background and legwork as to what's going on with the monopolies as a whole. As Amazon has grown bigger and bigger and bigger, they have crowded guys out of the market. And then they have gotten to a point where local businesses don't stock the inventory anymore. They count on the fact that people shop online, therefore they'll shop with me online too. Not really the case. And I guess another example of that is I'm an author and I sell books. And the best way, if you want to support me directly, the best way is to buy the books directly from me. Now, I have limitations. I only ship to the United States, but not everybody wants to go on to some other third-party place and give their address to me and all this kind of stuff. I get that, and that's why I also list them everywhere else in the world. You like Barnes & Noble, you can buy my books at Barnes & Noble. If you like Amazon, you can buy my books on Amazon. Number one place to give me revenue for my book is buying it directly from me. Number two is actually Amazon. Amazon gives me more money for the sales of my book than anybody else will because of the things that Elizabeth Warren wants to break up. So that's the downside of this proposal. Amazon bought up CreateSpace. They bought up the printers that do the printing of books. They bought up the workers that actually print the books. And they already have the infrastructure. So when it comes down to it, if you go to Amazon and you buy my book on Amazon, I actually get 60% of the price you paid on Amazon. I get 60% of that. All right. Now, when you buy it anywhere else, I generally only get 45%. It's in fact a little bit less than 45%. Buy it from me because I can buy my books at exactly print cost plus shipping. I can generally make most selling it directly. But that's why I will filter you generally in Amazon number one, because guess what? I don't have to worry about fulfillment. I don't have to worry about paying sales tax. I don't have to worry about collecting sales tax. It definitely solves a lot of problems. Send it to Amazon. So if you actually go to my site, which is IamNotAmusedBook.com for the new book, there's 3 links at the very top of the page. There's the link to buy it directly from the site, the link to buy it from Amazon, and the link to buy it from Barnes & Noble. And then there's a list on the side where you can buy it anywhere else you buy books. This is kind of the stuff that we're talking about. Amazon put in the infrastructure by being able to buy up all these companies. They've put in the place to make it better for someone like me who is an author to sell books on a platform that makes a lot more sense. I don't now have to buy 1,000 copies up front, which is what an independent author used to have to do. I have a place to list them. I have tools to list them. I can take up advertising to list them. So these are all the things we're talking about. Now, what Warren wants to do in her proposal is she wants to break up the big companies. Now, part of her proposal specifically targets Amazon. I don't see it targeting Google or Facebook or the other ones as much as she mentions 3 businesses by name in her proposal: Amazon, Google, and Facebook. Actually, she also mentions Microsoft as a past case example. Now, here's what she's talking about, though, and she makes some very, very valid points. This is the one thing I really like that she has. A system like Amazon, according to her plan, that has a sales platform, she says she does not want Amazon selling their own products. Now, this is akin to a grocery store selling generic brand products. Now, would grocery stores be impacted by this? It depends on the size of the store, because her cutoff line is between, I think it's 1 billion, I gotta find that number. There's a cutoff line of over a certain revenue, a company would not be able to have a platform to sell a product and sell their own version. So here's what they're talking about. If I go over to Amazon and I want to look for a charging cable for a phone, what you're going to see on your search results is first you have sponsored links. These are the people who have paid Amazon to be at the top of the page. So here's a sponsored ad for phone cables, sponsored ad for phone cables, and then we have Amazon's Choice, which is the Amazon Basics line, which are generic products. So this is akin to going to Kroger and bidding a Kroger branded macaroni and cheese. And then you have your organic results after this. Of course, all these Amazon's Choice are Amazon Basics. And then you'll get this. Now, Warren possibly hurts herself by saying page 6. You'll end up on page 6. No, not necessarily. On a phone, maybe page 2. But what we see here is that the algorithm works by putting a lot of sponsoreds, best sellings, and Amazon products first. So if you are a small company just getting into this industry, yeah, good luck getting listed up here on the list. You've got to figure out how to get a lot of people buying your products, which means you're going to have to take out a lot more in marketing and things like this. This is the impact that Warren wants to do. Of course, one of the challenges that Amazon just did, we talked about it in the news this week, that Amazon is now giving bigger brands the capability of pulling fakes off the platform. I perceive that this is actually going to hurt smaller companies that aren't making fakes but are making competing products, and then how difficult is it to challenge that decision? This is one of these cases where Warren's proposal is actually a decent thing to say you got to take less power out. Basically, she wants to push competition. So the reality is she makes a good point. Amazon pushes their own products on nearly any category. One of the examples that she talks about is plates. You want to buy some plates, you list some plates up and you go, oh, these are very nice plates. Now Amazon figures out what is the price point of plates, how well do people have. So I search for plates, I get the sponsored stuff that people are paying to be at the top. Then I get Amazon's versions of it. And then eventually, I'll get into the organic results, which are going to be a lot later and more difficult to find in theory. So this is what Warren is talking about in her proposal. She wants to prevent a company that has a platform from also selling products on their platform. This really is a jab at Amazon and only Amazon. I've seen Google use Google Ads to advertise their products, but it's actually very rare. So that thing is not really a case about it. And Facebook, I don't know. I don't use Facebook. I don't know. Does Facebook advertise their own stuff? I'm guessing Facebook advertised Portal on Facebook's advertising network. That would be an example as well. So what she's wanting to do is saying that these things and these companies are doing, selling products on their platforms and buying up and mergers, is destroying the competition, indicating that small firms are declining 22% from 2012. Now, from the business perspective, this is only partially true, because a lot of your startups get jumped in on the VC with an exit strategy to sell to one of these big companies. So a big competitor to Instagram shows up. Their goal is to make it look nice and beautiful for Facebook to come in and want to buy them up. It's a good business investment strategy. But what her challenge is that she says is that oftentimes these companies come in and she uses the word here, bully cities into giving them a lot of benefits. Now, this is something that was worth talking about, because in business, local government will provide incentives for businesses for coming into their regions. Why? It brings jobs. It brings community vibrance. It does an increase of revenue in other areas. A factory moves into town, they bring in, 1,000 employees. Now we have 1,000 employees that are not only paying taxes in your local jurisdiction, they're now shopping at the grocery stores, they're engaging in the entertainment. It definitely helps. Now, what Warren didn't talk about that I would love to see talked about is Amazon was taking advantage of these incentives. It wasn't backdoor deals in the New York City deal. This is a thing that all businesses can do. But what I'd like to see Warren address is to say, hey, over a certain size, it no longer makes sense to give you incentives because Amazon already hasn't paid corporate taxes this year. Okay, and they're not going to. They have enough tax breaks. They have enough money. They don't need the breaks. Maybe you should instead give the company's employees incentives for coming and getting a new factory. Now, giving incentives to a small startup company is a great thing. And in fact, one of the greatest things Bill Clinton did in office that if we were to go back to this, it would absolutely help. When Clinton was in office, and I was a college student around this period of time, he put into office a bill that college students did not have to pay Social Security tax because he looked at the numbers and said, college students who graduate and go on to their careers make more money over their lifetime than people who don't. And so let's suspend, while you are a full-time student enrolled in a university in good standing, you don't need to pay Social Security tax, which basically means we had more money, we had a better ability to pay for school, and then once we get out of school, get into a real job, now Social Security sees a boost because they gave us the benefit before. I would love to see that return not only for college students, but also for startup companies. Now, again, I would want to see a provision in the law that says it can't be a startup company that's bankrolled by a huge corporation like Amazon. You already have your benefits. But for a small startup company just starting out as an individual, give me 5-year breaks on taxes and I would do an infinitely a lot more. I have a small business. I have a couple of small businesses and I'm launching another one soon. I can't put as much into marketing, which is into the industry, which will cause more sales because I have to worry about paying so stinking much in taxes. It's insanity. So tax benefits for small business is good, but I think that once a corporation gets so large, it no longer makes sense for any jurisdiction to give them a break. They already have enough. Let's let the smaller business have the incentives instead. That will better produce competition. All right. So what she wants to do is implement a few things. One of her statements is to, and here's actually her thing, companies with a global revenue of 25 billion or more that offer to the public an online marketplace, an exchange, or a platform for connecting third parties, Amazon, eBay, etc., would be designated as platform utilities. So this would say, Amazon, because you are over 25 billion, you cannot sell Amazon Basics. Is that going to hurt the local grocery store? Probably not, because I don't think that Kroger makes 25 billion in global revenue. I could be wrong about that. I haven't looked up the numbers. So I actually like that part of her plan because it allows a small business to create a new product and get it on there without Amazon being able to compete with that in such a platform, because they are stifling competition. Now, she's talking about smaller companies between 90 million and 25 billion. Their platform utilities would be required to meet the same standard of fair, reasonable, and non-discriminatory dealings with users, but would not be required to structurally separate. So over a certain revenue point, separating the platforms. Now, the other thing that she wants to do is reverse illegal and anti-competitive tech mergers. So pulling Amazon, pulling Whole Foods and Zappos back out of Amazon, maybe diapers.com was the big example she uses here. Pulling WhatsApp and Instagram out of Facebook, pulling Waze, Nest, and DoubleClick out of Google. I'm iffy on this one. Here's the reason. YouTube itself is not profitable, but is a good property for Google. If you were to force YouTube to back out of Google, YouTube would collapse. It's just not profitable. YouTube can stay on because of the ability of Google, of DoubleClick, and of YouTube to work in conjunction because they're owned by the same company. Forcing these to spin off would actually collapse the platform, which would hurt more small businesses over the period of time. However, there are many of these instances that is very true. So again, what she needs to do on the business end to make this better is to look at there is a thing called unilateral. I'm going to get the terms wrong. I'll describe the terms. I forget the exact terms in business. But one of these is direct competition. So Walmart buying up CVS and Walgreens, because they all effectively have the same competition. This is different from Walmart buying AWS, or I guess Walmart buying Azure. You know, not that Microsoft would be selling Azure, because those are competing type platforms. So Amazon buying up diapers.com would say, okay, this is an anti-competitive merger because you're damaging another online company into it. But Amazon buying Whole Foods, I don't see this as a bad thing, because it is two completely separate things. Amazon.com is a website-based platform. Whole Foods is a physical store you go to. But the strategic merger of Amazon and Whole Foods allows them to open up more delivery options, more pickup locations, and things like this, which I don't see that as quite a bad of a thing as Amazon buying up diapers.com. And I don't remember what Zappos is as a company, so I'm not going to comment on those. So there's parts of this that are really good, and there's parts of this that are really bad. Ultimately, she wants to see more ability of competition, which is critically what we need. This is a great thing in the respect of the fact that these companies are indeed getting too big and they now control the marketplace. If I look at book sales, somewhere to the effect of 700% more books sell on Amazon than on any other platform combined. That's a little scary. I sometimes as an author not necessarily want to work with Amazon, but I really don't have a choice. In fact, one of the big anti-competitive things I think they're doing right now is if I wanted to sell an ebook and take the most advantage of Amazon's platform, I have to put it on KDP Select, which is a forced contract that it says I'm not going to sell the book anywhere else. That's something I would like to see go away. Give me the ability to utilize the platform no matter what. So this is an interesting law. It is definitely worth the read. And I'm sorry, I said law. It's an interesting proposal, definitely worth the read. And there's a lot of things in here that are really good, and there's a lot of things in here that are really not so good. That's kind of my thoughts. What are your thoughts on this proposal? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for making it to the end of this Switch to Linux video. You can have a look at another video right on over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel or to Think Life Media, which is my own personal support page. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.